Book 101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She's a CEO founder of CDR companies and of course MEECO thought leader of distinction and executive coaching, creator of True Talent Coach, the award-winning digital avatar coach, and of course best-selling author no other than Miss Nancy Parsons. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
Welcome, Miss Nancy. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Yes. Again, I'm actually co-founder of CDR Companies, and we provide assessments for global clients for leadership, talent development, and even for selection screening. These assessments go very deep, and we recently, as you mentioned, introduced the first and only digital avatar coach that debriefs our assessments. And the book "Women Are Creating the Glass Ceiling and Have the Power to End It" is based on our research from our assessments. So, and I live in Brent. I just moved to Branson, Missouri, and have four grown children and nine grandchildren, if you can believe that. So,
Congratulations,
thank
Miss
you.
Nancy. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Hoping for more and more empowering books like this and more empowering business to come. So tell us, let's start with the title, which is deliberately proactive. Women are creating the glass ceiling. This seems to place responsibility on women themselves. Can you unpack what you mean by creating it? Is it through action, inaction, or internalized belief?
It's basically by both action and inaction, and it's based on personality traits and behaviors. So what we learned in our research, we measure strengths, character strengths, personality strengths. We also measure risk factors, personality based risks that undermine effectiveness and cause derailment or cause ineffective behaviors. And last, we measure motivation. Where we found the difference for women is that we measure 11 different risks. Their highest risk, and this is across North America and Western Europe, was as worriers. That's not warriors, worriers. They tend to worry, overthink, overanalyze, freeze in fear, fear of failure, fear of making a mistake. So and these risks show up under stress, adversity, and conflict. So when there's conflict or hot meetings, women go inside their heads and shut down and stop communicating, stop fighting. So when I say they're creating the glass ceiling, what happens is they become invisible. They stop communicating. So they're bypassed for promotions. It's not viewed as leader like to not stay engaged in a discussion. So women by default under this stress and pressure, they kind of shut down and go inside their heads and they want to make sure they're 100% right. So, meanwhile, the male counterparts, the men, tend to be egotists, upstagers, and rule breakers. And those are aggressive behaviors, and they're fighting and hogging the airtime. And the women just tend to go invisible. So, that's what I meant by now, it can be, don't get me wrong, women can change these behaviors once they're aware of them. But right now, most women don't know what the risks are. So they just keep resorting to this. And then they're, upset at the end when they're not promoted. But yet, they're not speaking up enough. They're not fighting for, what they believe or what the issues are or being assertive enough in the heated moments or the tough moments. So that's what I mean by they're creating it is by this shutting down under stress. But they can, once they're aware, they can work on developing new tactics so they stop doing that, right? And they can become more
Yes,
aware.
definitely be aware and fight for your own rights. what you
Correct.
want in life.
Point of
And
view. Yeah.
yes, and Miss Nancy, your thesis challenges the traditional narrative of a glass ceiling as an exclusive external structural barrier imposed by men. What is the catalyst that lead you to this perspective?
Yeah. So there are certainly social, like you said, barriers or some of the systems aren't great. But then we women, we become our own worst enemies when we shut down. So it is true that sometimes these stereotypes and things like that can hurt us, but not as much if we're asserting ourselves. And the other thing that you might find interesting, we also studied CEO women, right? And
Mm,
then
yes.
corporate executive women, as well as all those women in the middle. The CEO women had the same risks as men. So they were fighters, they were egotists, upstagers, and rule breakers. The CEO women were warriors, but they had what we call upstaging. So they were still able to communicate when the heat was on. So now again, there are stereotypes that hurt women more than they hurt men. So let's just put it this way. If a woman and a man are both an egotist, who do you think has tougher labeling against them? Women. You know, to your point, yes, there are external factors as well, but I'm saying but women need to be stronger for themselves so they can beat those external, obstacles more a lot more easily because the women who do rise to the top, right?
Yes,
So,
definitely.
yeah. So that's the
Let's
point.
empower women all over the world. So, how do you respond to the immediate criticism that this argument could be seen as blaming the victim or letting systemic sexism off the hook?
Well, I don't see it as blaming the victim. I see it as helping the woman because most of them don't know they're doing this. And so they can change their behaviors. They don't have to suffer like this. So, and I personally, I kind of reject the victim mentality. I'm saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Do what you can do to be the best you can and seek the help you need. But this stuff that I'm going to sit back and complain and whine that I'm a victim, I have a problem with that. That's not what I subscribe to. I've worked in men's industries my whole life. I came through the energy industry. I had jobs. I was like the first woman in many different jobs. I worked at a shipyard, at a coal mine, at pipeline operations and energy. And I rose to the top and it wasn't and I'm the first woman in my family, first person to have a college degree. So I could have sat back and just like many other women, we could sit back and hope other people will dictate our future. But if you do that, you're not going to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm not saying that it can't that sometimes there are definitely discrimination and unfairness and different things that happen to us. But we have to really be our best advocate, ourselves, right? And
Yes.
that's what I'm trying to say. That I think it's better to really try to be the best you can to have a good sense of self awareness, to know where your strengths, your gifts are, where your risks are, and what you really want in life, what you enjoy and love. So when you do those things, other people can't hold you back. So I just, you know, like I say, I think women have, and the other thing is when we look at the research on performance in leadership, guess which gender outperforms? Of
Woman.
course, the studies, whether it's 360 studies, all kinds of data show that women are excellent leaders. So we
True.
have to get more of them in these roles and they have to stop. So what happens is what my work is helping women and men too, but women not undermine their own success or effectiveness, clear those barriers out of the way. So that's my goal. Now, again, if things are unfair or unlawful, we got to fight them. Absolutely. But I think women have so much more potential than they realize. And that's what bothers me or that's what concerns me. I want women to be able to soar, with their strengths. And too often they're bypassed and they can be the best leader in the whole group, the whole company, and they get bypassed. So we've got to change that paradigm. But I think it begins with women.
Miss Nancy, on the mechanisms of creation, what are the specific tangible ways in which women often unconsciously participate in applauding the very structures that limit them?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes again, it's that shutting down and we don't voice our concerns or we don't express, hey, this system is only serving this one group. So it's that fear of stepping out. So I think that, and women don't always support women enough sometimes. I think that's getting better. But, I think the other thing that what we do, we use scientifically validated data. So scientifically validated data. So companies need to start using that so they make more objective decisions. When companies just make decisions on who they think is good at this and that and certain performance feedback, it fails. So they need to pull in, incorporate objective data like ours to make better decisions about people's capabilities, their talents, versus, what school they went to, where they grew up, what blah, 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 because that is not working. Our systems for decades have not been serving us. And do you know the studies actually show today, even, and this is going decades back, 50 to 75% of leaders are ineffective. So what's that tell you? It tells you we're not promoting well. We're not picking the right people for the right jobs. So using data like ours, and that way you will promote uh, more women and diverse communities if you use good data because it's objective.
You argue that women have the power to end it. Is the power primarily individual or a collective? Where do we
It's
start?
yeah. So the power obviously it comes with individuals, but then in organizations, obviously you've got your HR teams that you have to get on board. You have to get senior leadership on board. And in my book, I outline for each of these groups what we need to do to change their understanding and their paradigm too. So yeah, individually, and I would say, you know, women can have coaches. I also just put out a brand new ebook. I'll let you know that can help women, and it's free. It's complimentary, and it's called "Everyone Has Personality Risks. What are yours?" And it's a 120-page book, and a lot of it goes into worrier too. That I talk about women and helps them understand what they can do to change those behaviors and build better tactics. Okay, so but I think if we as individuals have to change, but we also have to communicate to others that the systems need changing, right? So so I think it's a bit of both. It's not just the woman, but we also have to then pull together and change the systems that are hurting women and holding women back.
Let's talk about the queen bee syndrome. Is it real phenomenon or harmful stereotype, or how does it or the perception of it factor in your argument?
Yeah, and I'm not 100% on the, what you're saying, queen bee. This woman could be the person who is the egotist, who's tough, a little egocentric, and again, it's labeling. If there's a man that is pushing ahead and taking charge and blah, 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 we don't even notice it. Nobody blinks. But if a woman has that same persona and she's tough and a mover and a shaker, she might be a queen bee. Now, but maybe you have a better description of queen bee so I can, it's not something we specifically measure, but if you gave me a little better description, I might be able to kind of clarify how we might measure those traits.
Miss Nancy, how do internalized limitations like imposter syndrome, risk aversion, or need for perfection as it breaks into a ceiling we build for ourselves?
Correct. That's another issue. Like a need to be perfect. We measure the degree of perfectionism one has. Imposter syndrome. We measure that with somebody with low adjustment who and they may be very achievement driven, but they never give themselves credit and they're always self doubting. So we measure all these different kind of what you would call clusters of traits to help people move through it. And you know what? And these things aren't don't only apply to women. I've been recently coaching a man that has kind of imposter syndrome. So it's all individualized. We all here's the thing with like the risk factors and even our overall profiles. We all have risks. These are part of normal personality. Some people detach or avoid conflict. Some people are fighters. and some people seek affection, and some people do a couple different things. So we help people. It's important to help people from where they're coming from, so they're self-aware and they learn to they understand what behaviors and reactions may be hurting them, so they can change those reactions, understand situations that push their buttons and cause them to go there, and then we help them figure out new tactics of behavior and practice those. In order to change risk behaviors, someone has to practice new behaviors. We can't just cognitively think I'm going to change, because without some practice it just won't happen.
Yes. So, Miss Nancy, as a best-selling author and CEO and founder, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Short term is to spread the True Talent Coach, because that digital avatar system, we can now give executive level coaching to all employees at all levels. You know, for most of my career, we were just coaching executives. But interestingly, people need the coaching and self awareness in the beginning of their career. So, my goal, my vision is to change that and help people, young people, people earlier in their careers be self aware, so that they don't get held back by their risks, so they can be the best they can be. And also, secondly, is a lot of people don't even understand their true talent, you know, what they're really best at. You would not believe all the hidden talent we find with our assessments and coaching. So now with the digital avatar system, we can help people do this and really discover their own talents. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, good luck to your goals, Miss Nancy, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
I would say, you know, work hard, love the work you're doing, and always try to, you know, learn. And always try to solve problems. Throughout my career, when I was young in HR and all these things, I was a problem solver just naturally. So don't be afraid if you see something's not right or wrong, go after it and try to fix it, because then you'll be ahead of the curve in your career, whether you're in an organization or as an entrepreneur as well. Be a problem solver and have fun with it, and work with people that you just enjoy and love. It's just great. I love the people I work with. So I'm really lucky.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for that advice, Miss Nancy. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yes, of course, the women are creating the glass ceiling and have the power to end it. And then if people could go to my website, you can download that ebook I mentioned, the risk ebook, for free. The website is cdrassessmentgroup.com, or you can contact me on LinkedIn too, and I can send you the link. So,
Definitely, yes, yes, for sure. And Miss Nancy, tell us what has been the most surprising or pushback you've received about the book premise and how it is redefine your thinking?
yeah, I guess for me, because early in my career I was in HR, you know, in when I worked in those different sectors, you know, the coal mine, the pipelines, shipyards. What's disappointing to me is that HR professionals are risk aversive and very detailed, so they're not good problem solvers. So what's happening is women are being left behind. We're picking, selecting inept leaders in different roles, and I think HR needs to pick it up and really work on focusing on strategy and on change. And we have data on HR folks, and they're just change resistant. So that kind of hurts me to see that happening. I'd like to see more change agents get into HR so they can help us.
Yes, definitely. And does your argument extend beyond corporate America to other fields
Oh,
like
absolutely.
entrepreneurship?
Yes.
Okay, so can you explain
Yes,
to
yes.
us?
We have measures in every sector: government, academia, students, you know, you name it. We've got data, and we work with all kinds of entrepreneurs. I've written a chapter in a book on assessing the entrepreneurial profile. So that, you know, we study humans and where they're most successful based on their personality characteristics and their motivation, where they fit best and where they soar and excel.
Miss Nancy, the book must address comparison and competition. How can women shift from scarcity mindset to abundance mindset?
um I'm sorry, from a conservative mindset, did you say, to a
From a scarcity mindset
oh,
to an abundance
oh, to
mindset.
abundance? Yeah. Again, it's that. I think having confidence in yourself and looking at the possibilities and getting excited about what you can do or what you love to do. So I think it's that excitement and looking at the big picture and this vision. Like being an entrepreneur is tough. It is not easy, but what keeps you going is you plan to get to where you want to be with your vision. So I think opening up your mind to your own possibilities and the possibilities of the future can help women um, to not be afraid and really believe in themselves, believe in their capabilities and their own gifts.
Yes. So, how can women in leadership positions actively create cultures and systems that prevent a replication for old limiting patterns for the next generation?
Yeah, I think again, I mean, I'm a little biased on using science to help us objectively measure talent, but I think the key is women are better at building teams, at mentoring people, at helping employees and having that voice, showing that respect and dignity for others. And I think that cultivates a better culture, right? So I think women naturally tend to have a little higher we measure on the nurturing skills. Well, let's nurture our workforces and our peers and really create great teams that perform well. So I think they can use some of their natural skills to create and cultivate wonderful work cultures, no matter their organization or the sector they're in.
Yes. So, what is the role male allies in this framework?
I'm sorry, what is the role? I'm sorry.
What is the role male allies in this framework?
Oh, okay.
If women have the power to end it, where do men fit in?
Yeah. Well, obviously, we need to be partners with our male counterparts. You know, and we need to uh, lean on them as mentors and hope that they lean on us as well and work with them and communicate openly, frankly, and show them data too. Show them data that where things maybe we need to open things up better. So I think it's that ability to have an open dialogue and being really partners for each other in the business. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter one's gender. We should all be partners in the business. And women have to take it on like that, I think, and be strong, be advocates for themselves and the rest of the organization. The men will come along. The men want to do the right thing. I mean, I don't see men as like the opposition, but we need to help bring them along with us, I feel like. And not be intimidated by them, not be shy, not be intimidated, but everyone, has their place on the team and work that through together.
Well, thank you for that empowering answer, Miss Nancy. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review, Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Miss Nancy, finally, what is your ultimate vision of a world where women have truly ended the glass ceiling? What does the look and feel like on
Yeah,
day-to-day basis?
it looks like when we work together, we don't even remember the glass ceiling, that we're all just working as teams, and no matter who we are, we just bring out the best in each other. So, we won't be looking at gender and those things. We'll just really build on each other's capability and work together as teams and really get excited about each other's talent and how we can, have great diverse teams that perform and excel, you know. So that's my hope for the future.
Miss Nancy Parsons, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your advocacy, your books, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yes, like I say, would love to have people join me on LinkedIn and follow the different projects that we're working on and try our digital avatar coaching. So that'd be great.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Nancy Parsons because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering books like this to come. So, Miss Nancy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Daniel. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.